Hey guys, thought I'd bring you a little video. I just updated everything on my Adobe Audition, and one of the things that is a great new feature, it- it's just amazing to me, and it's built into Adobe Audition. So if you want to get Adobe Audition, I think it's like 19 bucks a month if you want to have it. The CC version where you get all of the updates whenever they come out. It's right on the homepage at stepstovoiceoversuccess.com. Just scroll down, you'll see, Adobe Audition and go grab it. One of the questions I get a lot is how do I, you know, import the music? How do I make the music sound good with my voice? Sometimes it's too loud, and you go through all these different procedures. Well, let me just tell you, Adobe Audition has made this extremely easy. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to go ahead and start a new multi-track session inside of Adobe Audition. Just call it Earl Test. How's that? Yeah, we won't overwrite that. All right. So now we've got a multi-track set up here, and you can see the session is right over here, and I need to go ahead and set up my inputs. So we got to set up our hardware, and we're going to be using the line in USB, and okay. Testing 1, 2. So if I arm this, testing 1, 2, you can see my mic is connected and I am ready to go. And let's just record a little something here. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. All right, that's pretty good, right? Actually, let me do, I guess the volume's okay on that. We can always adjust whatever. Now, let me show you a little something here. Many of you that use Adobe Audition, you can kind of slide that stuff out. You saw that little tick that was at the beginning, and so we've got that there. And let's go ahead and import some music. Let me grab a track here. This might be good. Whoops, I don't know what that's all about. Okay, let's go ahead and drag this in. All right. All right, so the music is importing in there. Now, let's go back and take a listen to what's going on. Obviously, you heard nothing of my voice because the music was so loud on that. So if you see this over here, let me try and do a close-up here on this for you. And kind of transition that, and let's whoops, move the wrong thing. What am I trying to move over? The zoom in. All right, so let's move this over so you can see what I'm talking about here, and I can always put that back later. All right, so you can still see my music track and my vocal track here. This over here, the essential sound, this is amazing to me. What you can do, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight my vocal track, and over here in the dialogue, I basically set this as a dialogue track, and you see it's got a little word bubble that's right in there. I've set this as a dialogue track. Now, if I come down to this track here, which is my music track, I designate this as my music, and you can put in ducking right there. You can put in the ducking. All right, so, and let me just check a couple of the readings here. Now, what you're going to notice, if I zoom in on this track here, let me just pull that back and let me zoom in to this so we can see it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. I want to make sure you see this. All right. See this dotted line here? This dotted line shows that it's ducking down underneath the voice. Right there. It's ducking down underneath the voice already. So let's just go and take another listen, see if you can hear it any better. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. All right, and you see it went right back up. Now let's do this a little bit more. We're going to reduce the sound. We're in the ducking here. We're going to reduce this by a little bit more. Whoops. We need to go up. All right. And you can see that dotted line moving. See how it moved way down? All right. So I'm going to move the, and oh gosh, this is so interesting here too. When I move my vocal track, the ducking moves with it. Do you see that? The ducking moves with This is amazing. I'm sorry. This is just completely amazing to me. So it follows your vocal track and it will reduce that music. So let's take a listen again. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. All right, and you can play with this to see, to see how much you want that music to be reduced by. I have it reduced right now by 37 dB. I think if I put it at about 20, it should be fine as well. So let's take a listen, see what happens. Oh, and let me move this in a little bit closer so that it just gets right up on the voice. It'll duck down right up under the voice. Let's take a listen. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. Okay, now let's go over to my rack here because I want to add some effects onto my voice. And I'm just going to use my regular studio rack that's there. And we're going to go back here and I've got a debreather on there, which I may or may not need. I've got a gate. Let's turn the de-esser back on. Probably the vocal enhancer will help and the hard limiter. And let's take a listen. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. Okay, now what we can do is we can take that volume on this music is a little loud. Yeah, it's peaking out. It's really peaking out. But here's the thing. We're here at about, I mean, it's a real short, what is it? 2 seconds worth of, 3-4 seconds worth of audio. That's right there. One of the things that you can do, this is amazing, with the music track is if I go over here and hit duration, tick that box, and we want to, let's see, do a remix, I believe. Yep, so it's taking the remix, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for this remix to go through. We're at a couple seconds here. Oh, this is taking so long. Oh, it's saying 2 minutes. Okay, 1 minute, 34 seconds. Okay, what I'm going to do with this, so many times when we are creating a voiceover and we're trying to add background music to it, you see you've got this long music track, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes it could be, right? And what we do is we have a tendency to chop it off. What this will do is allow you to, I'm doing a remix of it right now, and I'm going to tell it, I think it'll reduce it down to about the minimum or the maximum it will reduce it by is to 10 seconds. But I can make it longer. I can make it as short as 10 seconds, but we're going to see here. All right, so we're coming up 10 seconds, 8 seconds. All right, so now what I want to do is, you can see this, I'm just going to drag, whoops. Let's go back. I'll just type it in. What we want to do is make this 0, and let's see if we can reduce this down to 10 seconds is what I did. All right, so the most that it would reduce it by, let's do a full screen on this here. Yeah, is about 18 seconds. So usually, obviously, you're going to be doing more than 18 seconds with that. But you see, it just reduced it all down naturally, the way that it should be. We didn't do any cutting. We didn't do any, deleting of the music. It remixed the music and it made it shorter. So if you've got a 30-second spot and you've got a 5-minute audio track, make it a minute, so on and so forth. So let's go back. Let's take another little listen and let's see what I want to do. Let's look at the loudness. And I'll just reduce the volume of this manually by, let's say, -10. So that'll reduce the volume automatically. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. Just reduced it on out, right? So let's go back here and let's take a look at some of the settings that I have back on my track. So let me, yeah, I can move this again, move the zoom in and move it over. This way you can see my rack. Okay. Now, in my rack here, basically I've got the debreather, the gate, the de-esser. The vocal enhancer is something that really comes in handy when you're doing some things because it makes it louder. Let's, I'm going to solo this track. S means solo. That means that's the only thing that's going to play. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. All right, now if I take that vocal enhancer off, here's what it sounds like. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. All right, so you saw the difference there? In a world where Adobe Audition is king. Let's leave it on. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. Turn the vocal enhancer off. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. You can see it adds a little bit more presence to the voice, a little bit more volume on that. And with the vocal enhancer, I'll open up what it looks like and you just set it for a male voice. That's it. You just set it for a male voice or a female voice. The hard limiter that I have on here is basically just to make sure you want to bring the loud parts down, the soft parts up, or whatever, to make it a more even type of thing. And they've got, do they have a voiceover one? Doesn't really matter. We'll do a limit to -3 dB, because that's kind of what you want anyway, right? Okay, so we'll come back over here. Solo the track again. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. And you see that it's not going above -6. World where Adobe Audition is king. That comes into play because of the limiter that I have on. And I'll pop open my limiter and you can see it limits it, the output, to -6. That's the limit it's going to go. It's not going to let it go past that. So take a listen to this again with the music, how the music automatically ducks down and all that other kind of stuff, because this is amazing to me that you can do it this easily. In a world where Adobe Audition is king. All right. That's the lesson. If you want to have this functionality, you got to get Adobe Audition. You don't have to learn about side chaining. You don't have to learn about all this other kind of stuff. It's a couple clicks and your music will duck down below your voice automatically, and you can set that however it is that you want to set it. I thought this video was important for me to do because I get so many questions in regards to how do you do this? Well, Adobe Audition makes it super easy. Go get Adobe Audition. I'll put a link in the description or whatever. You can go ahead and grab that. Start using Adobe Audition. It is really, in my opinion, it's the #1 platform, especially for voiceover. So many different things that you can do. It is simply amazing. You're not going to have hangups or things are just easier. The workflow is easier. I mean, I've used Audacity. I'm starting to use Pro Tools now too, because I just want to learn how to do that. But the whole thing with the functionality of Adobe Audition, I just believe if you're in VO and you're serious about becoming a voiceover artist and being able to produce the content that you need to produce, fully produced voiceover, Adobe Audition is the thing to use. Hope this was helpful. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about this video and what other questions you might have concerning what I just showed you. So I'll see you guys next time. You have a great one.